So, welcome to the show. Today is going to be so much fun. There are three of us today that are going to be joining in a specific topic. We're going to be doing this every month, and it's going to be kind of like a girl talk session here with a little bit of structure. So, I want to dive into today's conversation. It's going to be one that so many of us need to be talking about and that we rarely do. And we're talking about what happens when we're running on empty. How do we refuel in real life? And we're not talking about this whole Instagram reel of all the wonderful things, but we want to talk about the real, the messy, the honest kind. And these two women with me today are going to be sharing their journey, and we want to dive in, share all the things of how do we see it, what to fix, give you some tools, and maybe a little bit of a challenge. Okay, so let's first do some quick intros of everybody that is here so we can get to know everybody a little bit better. I'm Shauna B with Ignited Decisions. I am a coach that helps women with burnout prevention and to get off that overthinking hamster wheel of stuckness by quieting all of the outside noise and other people's plans for you to hear your true self and know what you really want to take the next steps in your life to start living it.
Love it. Love it. I'm Mary Dibble. I am a wife, a mom of three, and a life coach for moms and the host of Radiant Mom Rising podcast. And I'm on a mission to help as many moms as I can to thrive in both business and life and really learn to open themselves up to receive what is meant for them through mindset work and helping them to achieve the abundance and the wealth that they deserve.
I love that. And I'm Mary Beth of the Fierce Framework podcast. And I'm a business coach who helps women just break out of the box that society tells us we're supposed to fit into and start living life more on our own terms so that we're living lit up.
They're so good. I'm so excited about this to have you guys here. I can't wait. I can't wait. I wanted to start off with sharing about a time in our lives that we realized that we were completely running on empty, and then the moment that became kind of like our personal wake-up call. Um, I shared a little bit about this because I talked a little bit about more about this on Really Sharing Our Power podcast. Um, my moment was it's kind of funny, but it's and crazy at the same time. So I'm a mom of four, and I have three of my own, and then I adopted older daughter, and I have all of the things that are going on, right? And I remember going through the day and just being super busy, check, check, check. And I remember walking into the kitchen one time, and all I did was look at my dishes, and I started crying. Okay. And I'm not like I get into my emotions and I feel my emotions, okay? But like to cry over some dishes, I was like, what the heck is going on over here? Like, why am I crying over these dishes? And but then when taking that second of like what checking in with myself and being like, what is really going on here? I'm like, it has nothing to do with the dishes. Like I don't have anything left. I feel like I've been pulled in five directions and then oh wait, five more directions. And then but the dishes are calling. And that was like my straw of like, no, no. And now I'm like a puddly mess. And it made me realize like, what am I doing to myself here? Like, what am I trying to earn some freaking cape or badge or like, you did it, look at you go. And I don't even want that. I don't even want that. I just want to be like, have a happy home. I want my kids to be successful and happy. I want to be happy. Like, I don't need all that. And so I'm like, why am I almost beating myself up over this, you know? And so I had to take a step back and really get clear on like what the hell I even wanted. Like, what do I really want here? Because crying over some dishes ain't it. It ain't it. So that alone just kind of like it, I want to say it slapped me in the face a little bit, but it made me like take a second to be like, whoa, what do I really want here? But being okay with letting go of who gives a if I even do those dang dishes right now anyway.
Oh my God.
That'll be later.
Yeah.
'Cause you know what? There are gonna be more dishes. So whatever, you know? And like kind of letting that go, but then doing something for myself
Mhm.
to kind of, you know.
Mhm.
So that was my little story and moment that kind of slapped me in the face, if you will, for a wake up call.
Well,
So
I have
good.
to say, Shauna, mine is very similar too. Because it was for me, like I already grew up like always feeling like my mom, everything had to be super clean, super clean, super clean. And so it was at a point in my life where I literally felt like I was having to like even vacuum like every single day. It's like I would go from my job to taking care of the kids to having to clean. And I remember like kind of realizing like how much I craved my wine at the end of the day because I almost like that was kind of the thing I felt like was my time.
Mm.
But just honestly recognizing just how snappy I was, how upset I was all throughout my day. I just felt so overwhelmed, felt pulled in 100 different directions, and I love that I was able to finally do the work to realize and open my eyes so like that, oh, you know what? This is the season that I'm in, but also changing the narrative of that of like,
Mm.
I get to clean a house.
Mm.
I got the house I've always dreamed of having. I have children. I have dogs. I have this life that, yes, it's a little messy right now, but like you say, it's okay that the carpet's a little messy and has dog fur on it. It's okay that there's that the bar area, no matter how many times, because I'm telling you, it's exhausting. Every time I would clean, 5 minutes later, it looked like I didn't even touch it. And I'm like, I promise, I really did clean that. But it's like you get tired of it, and it's like now, I like you say, it's so nice to kind of see it differently and just like you say,
Mm.
be okay that it's messy now, but and I just stick in my vision of my future home that is going to be clean. So that helps me too. But yeah, that's pretty much my story as well of when I really realized I was running on empty.
That's real.
Yeah.
I love
That's
that.
real. Especially the 5 minutes later. Where you're
Oh,
like, that is
what?
real. That is a real
What?
thing.
Yeah.
Like, God forbid your house looks like kids live there.
I know.
Because they do.
That's so funny too, because I feel like we do that where we have to clean like we're showing it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then people are like, "What, do kids live here?" And you're like, yeah. Or
No.
there's the days where you're like, nobody cleans, but you're like, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they're not allowed to touch anything, but they live here.
Yeah, yeah.
I picture you like crying over the dishes, like it's not the dishes. Well, y'all's little awakenings were much more proactive than mine. Mine was a little bit more like in retrospect. I worked in a call center in customer service for like years. And it was like one of those, what's the analogy where you're like a frog in a boiling pot of water, where like it just like slowly crept up on me. And like I thought I was just like an angry person. Like I was angry all the time. But then like everybody around me in that job was also unhappy. And so like we were just complaining and like talking about how we hated our lives, like na 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 na. And then when everything came to like a screeching halt with COVID, and fortunately I got to keep my job, but I got to work from home. And then it was like all the extracurriculars though just like fell off. And I had this moment where I was like, I don't even like doing any of this stuff. Like I was always like running from one thing to the other and like I had all these like social obligations and like I was just like go 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 go. And once I had to stop, there were definitely struggles, but there was definitely this like eye-opening moment where I was like, I don't, I'm doing too much. Like, I don't want to be doing any of this stuff. I'm so burnt out. And then once I was able to like kind of like calm down my life where I could like hear myself, it like really started coming to the surface. Like, you are so burned out. This is a terrible job for you. Like, you're not a people person. Like, you hate being on the phone. Yeah, so it was like a little bit more of like a retrospective thing, but I think that was my biggest moment where I was just angry all the time and like went through a phase where like I thought that was normal. Like I thought it was just an angry person, which is like crazy.
No, yeah.
I love the frog in the boiling pot. I don't know what the saying is, but I know exactly what you're talking about, where
It's like because it gradually gets warmer, you just
yes.
acclimate and acclimate and acclimate. And like we do that in corporate so
Mm.
much. Like it's happening on my team right now. Is like, yeah, things get something happens and then everybody's in an outrage, but nobody actually wants to quit. And so then
Hmm.
they like let it calm down and then they do something else and like everybody's mad again, but like nobody's actually leaving.
Oh,
Yeah,
gosh. I
It's
feel you.
like the volcano too, right? Where you like it builds, 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 and then the volcano just erupts, and then it's just like a
Yes.
total freaking sh storm, and you're like, what is happening? It's like
Yes.
both for you, but like also everyone like around, like everyone around you, especially if you're like in a corporate, like corporate
Yes.
community, or even in your home. I know I can speak for
Mhm.
my home. Like
Yes.
if I'm like a volcano and I'm building up, and then I explode, guess what? I got all these mini volcanoes around exploding too, and it's just a freaking
I know.
disaster. And then you gotta calm all the things down. Who wants that?
Yeah.
No, thank
Exactly.
you.
No,
Yeah.
no. Yep.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you
Mm.
for sharing those. I
Yeah.
think each one of them has like each one of our stories has like a different twist to it.
Yes.
And 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 what can like kind of enlighten like, oh yeah, resonating, maybe it resonates with somebody of how that also was them.
Mhm.
I because I think that a lot of women out there don't realize that they're running on empty. Like they don't
Mm.
realize that they're
Yeah.
running on fumes
Yeah.
I didn't.
until
I didn't.
something, right, breaks totally down. And there's signs that lead up to that. And so the next question that I really want to get into here is what what do you think aside from, right, busy? Because we that's just I feel like in the societal norm, that's just like how many things can we add to our list?
Hmm.
How many things can we accomplish or check
Yeah.
off or get done is like this societal norm, right? But what do you think causes us to ignore the signs aside from just being busy?
Yeah, I think for me, like, you brought up COVID, and I feel like one of the biggest struggles so many people had, where like when it came to their mental health, especially, was that people don't know how to sit with themselves. I think
That's
that's a
real.
big part of why we stay busy because we don't want to face ourselves. We don't want to face the reality of things that we're not happy with, the things that we have no control over, the things that we want to change that we feel like we can't, but that's the story we've been telling ourselves for so long. And what we don't realize is that the more, like you say, we hold it in or we avoid facing what we need to face in order to move forward, the more we create that suffering and the struggles that we absolutely hate
Mhm.
anyways. And so it's like, for me, feel like it's just that avoidance of just being afraid to face ourselves, to see ourselves in the mirror, like truly, but also in a way that will allow us to change also the way we've seen ourselves. So many of us have been hard on ourselves, thought that, oh, we're not beautiful, we're not worthy. Well, let's change that for ourselves so that we can see ourselves for truly who we are, the beautifulness of us, our inner selves and our outer selves, and that helps us to show up in the way that will change the outcome of where we're at in our realities right now.
That's
Mm.
good.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's a good one. I have something to add to that.
Yes.
Because I just did a class on this like on this topic that you're talking about.
Mhm.
Um I call your inner mean girl your dragon. And I do these classes that are like next level dragon training. So when you work with me, you do this like learning about your dragon and what it actually is. And then next level is like where we dive into it. And it's funny that you're talking about not facing yourself to feel the emotions, right? Because for another reason, we feel like feeling sad or overwhelmed or these bad emotions, we're not supposed to feel them. And so
Yeah.
it goes along with what you were saying, Mary, is like we can't face ourselves because we don't want to feel the bad things. Well, that's your dragon coming in
Yeah.
to keep you from the growth of moving through the storm, right? And so that's like that is a warning sign. Like,
Yeah.
oh, what am I trying to avoid here? And being aware of that to then try to take the steps to feel what I call completing the circuit. You got to complete the circuit to feel all of these things
Yeah.
in order to move through it because you become stronger on the other side. You have way more awareness and then what's for you. You can't see what's for you until you get through it and all the dust, settles and clears and then you can see what's for you next, right? So
Mhm.
it's so funny how we spend so much energy on avoiding because we don't want to feel the bad things or move through the
Yes.
storm, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
true.
there's so much more goodness on the other side and it's so much better. It's just like being brave and confident and courageous enough to take those steps to move through that.
Yes.
Love that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, it is important. How about you, Mary Beth? You want to talk on that for you?
Oh, remind me the question. I don't want my ADHD to like run away with me. I'm
I
so
love it.
I
sorry.
love it.
No, I love it. I'm here for it. So, what do you think causes us to ignore these signs?
Oh, gross. Um,
I love it.
that's why I
I do too.
blocked it.
I like, and
So
next.
for me, comparison and
Yeah.
like shame. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, period.
That's
Yeah, no,
Um,
that's real. That's real.
so real. I mean,
because
especially
it's
as
like,
women.
yeah, well, and I think sometimes like you're seeing the signs and you're feeling the burnout, but like you don't feel like you have the option to stop or to do less. And I've come so far, but I still find myself like I don't even have kids. I don't even have a husband to like, take care. Like my life is so much simpler than like other people. And so I have a hard time still like not comparing myself and being like, "Oh, if she can do all that with kids, I should be doing more."
Mhm.
Um, and that's like years into this journey of like releasing shame and like letting myself be on my own journey and like working to stop comparing. So it was like even more so, years ago when before I started doing this work. And so I think that's such a common thing is like we look around at everyone else and it's like, who am I to stop? Like, I don't have the right to take a break because everyone else around me is doing all these things and I need to keep going and try to catch up because like I'm so far behind or I'm doing not enough. And so it's like even when you're feeling you're seeing the signs of burnout and you're feeling the effects, you're like, well, I don't like really have the option because there's still so much more to do.
Yeah.
Um, and the other one that gets me a lot is like when you're not checking in with yourself and then you're like pushing through what you think is a season and not realizing that this is like a long-term thing. And you're like, I just got to make it through XYZ. I just have to make it until my vacation or until I get a raise or until I get married or until the kids graduate.
Yeah.
And then like years go by and you're like, I've been white knuckling it for like my whole life.
Yeah.
Just like a lack of sustainability because we keep like thinking things are getting it better, like something outside of us is going to change and then we'll be able to. And it's like, you have to be the one who creates that space.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
so many good things with what you said.
I know.
Like how you said, we think it's a season. Like when you said that, I was like, oh, yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. And then just like white knuckling it my whole life. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like we give ourselves excuses and reasons to kind of like back it up and just like, oh, it
Yeah.
will pass, instead of just turning around
Yeah.
and facing the thing. And man, the comparison trap, woo,
Oh,
that's always a tricky one. Like that takes
seriously.
practice. That's like a thing where you're just like you don't even realize that you could be comparing yourself to Susie over here who's on step 10 and you're still on 2, but you don't
Right.
know what step she's on. But here you
Right.
are, still
Yeah.
comparing myself to step 10.
Yeah.
Like doesn't even make
Or a
sense.
completely different journey. Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
why am I
Not even
comparing myself
similar.
to my sister-in-law with 4 kids? I don't even
Right.
want kids.
It's the same thing. It's like you that's what I was just gonna say, like completely different lives, but yet here we are, still
Yeah.
complaining to be just like that person. That's
Um,
crazy.
well, that's the power of this journey right here. It's like when we start really recognizing that we have got to
Mm,
take out the outside noise, like you say, and really step inside of us and figure out what is it that we want? What does like a healthy, successful life look like for us and what we want?
mhm,
That's huge. And shifting that and just starting that journey to shift from that. And I love what you said because I relate to that so much of who I used to be and how I compared and always wanted what other people had. I mean, even
mhm,
even as far as my hair, okay? I hated having curly hair, like my natural hair, and for so long straightened it all the time because I wanted something I didn't have. And you know that
mhm.
saying, you want what you don't have, right? I
Yeah.
I mean, we all fall into that so much in our lives, but this is why this whole like having these conversations and going on this journey is so powerful and important because it helps us to stop that
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
allow what's meant for us to happen in our terms, not what
Yeah.
everyone else says we have to do. So
Yeah.
yeah, Mary Beth, I think that's incredible for you to bring in that up for
I love
sure.
that. Thank you.
Yeah.
And even before that, I love what you mentioned about like the curly hair, right? And it's like, I think the goal is to not compare, right? But I think a
Sure.
baby step before that could even be like having a wider variety of options to compare yourself to, right?
Yes.
It's like, if there wasn't a European beauty standard, like maybe straight hair wouldn't have been even on your radar.
Oh,
Um,
yes. Like for me, growing up
yeah,
watching celebrities and those perfect little outfits and how they presented them made me feel like that's what you had to look like in order to be successful or to be
yeah.
beautiful. And so that really put a damper on my insecurities for sure.
Oh, the
Yeah, because when you
pressure's
have
Put a
like
real.
damper on.
one narrow
Yeah.
version of success and then like
Yeah.
everything else is like a failure, I guess, because it's like black and white.
Yes.
But it's like if we
It's
had more options of like
yeah.
what success looked like or what we could shoot for,
Yeah.
I think that
Or
would be
even
powerful.
opening it up to what our success looks like.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like just
Yeah.
checking in with ourselves of being like, what is my success
Yeah.
actually look like? What do I actually want? And
Mm-hmm.
not, like blocking out all of that and not looking at everyone else, but just
Yeah.
thinking about what I want. Because sometimes we can get wrapped up in that, right? Like we're so wrapped up in Susie's
Yeah.
10 that
Yes.
we don't even know what our freaking step three is when we're on
Right.
step two, but here we are over here. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like getting real with us and checking ourselves and being like, hey,
Hmm.
Yeah. And
quiet down out there. I need to figure out what's going on in here so I know what the frick my step three is even going to be to
Exactly.
get to
yes.
Yeah.
Susie's 10.
Yes. And well, not to mention, like you were talking about earlier too, with the whole like, oh, I'll be able to do this when, which is what causes so many people to
Mhm.
get stuck. But it's
Yeah.
also, you miss out. You're missing out
Hmm.
on so much of your
Hmm.
now because you're so focused on like, I have to have this in order to
Yeah.
be happy. I have to have this in order to take action. Like
Hmm.
we're just completely missing so many opportunities to just enjoy life and enjoy the
Hmm.
journey along the way.
Yeah. That
That's so
that's
good.
that
Yeah.
yeah, that's a thing, enjoying the journey along the way,
Yeah.
Yeah, because
right?
that waiting game is killer.
Oof. It is. It is.
So true.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about what running on empty looks like and how it feels like. So I want to shift into like what actually helps us refuel and refill our tanks so we can actually recharge. So we're going to talk about some refuel moments here. So I want to ask you guys, what is your go-to like refuel or recharge practice when you know you are drained?
So for me, it's always intentionally taking time away from whether it be my business or my job or whatever it is that's causing it and spending time with my family, doing things I love. Like everyone who knows me knows I love kayaking and pickleball. So if I can make any of that happen, I set time for that. But even if it is just shutting things down and just doing
Mhm.
nothing, taking those moments for myself to just enjoy something I like, whatever it
Mhm.
can be, I make that as important as the task at hand that I feel like I should be doing.
Love it. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I got nothing after
No.
that.
That's funny. I can go next if you
So,
want.
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
Shauna.
So I am a crazy person and I have a laundry list of refuel moments that I can choose from because sometimes you can't always do, like, for example, I really like to do hiking and I really like to work out with one of my best friends because she's a trainer. So I really like to work out with her because she pushes me pretty hard.
Mm.
And those two things, if you can't physically do something, if something happens to you and you can't physically do something, you need to have other options. And so I'm really big on making the list big. Um, but like Mary was saying, even when you don't have, let's say I don't have those options for hiking, which by the way, I make as an appointment because when you make an appointment, you don't miss appointments, right? You respect other people's time, you respect the
Yeah.
space for that and all that. So you also need to do that for yourself, right? So I put it as an appointment in my calendar so then I will just do it. But aside from that, finding the things like if you can't do the movement and you don't have the, let's say you don't have the time, like you only have 2 minutes. There has been multiple times where I have gone in my room, laid on my back on my bed, closed my eyes, set a timer for 2 minutes and did nothing. Did not look at my phone. I didn't read. I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't even listen to music. I just sat there in quiet and just like let everything go and shut down, almost like rebooting your computer. And then I'm like, okay, that's all I got for right now. And then coming back. And
Mm.
that small recharge step was so powerful for my day because I was less snippy. I was less short with things. It was like, okay, I took a second to almost reset my nervous system, if you will,
Yeah.
to be able to handle, the being pulled in five directions, because that's also real.
Yeah. Especially with all those kids. They'll do that.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
I would say
Oh.
my ideal is running away to a beach whenever possible,
Hmm.
but I live in Colorado, so it's not always possible. But and I know it's so cliche and so I hate it, but it's true. Just like getting some freaking sunshine, um,
So
game
powerful.
changer.
Hmm.
So yeah, like sometimes when I'll start feeling like sad or irritable or whatever, I'm like, you're like a house plant. Like, have you gotten some sunshine today?
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
like hang out outside for a few minutes and you're like, I do feel better. You're like,
Yes.
okay. Um, but then like sometimes, so prevention is so important. So I love that you talk about like prevention so much, Shauna. Because I have like learned that your program helped me a lot actually to like realize like I need more prevention because once I get like to that place where I'm like burned out or over it or even just like overstimulated, like I'm like a child throwing a tantrum. Like so it's hard to like
That's
get me
legit.
to a place. But I've been working on like being gentle with myself and so I've found that talking to myself like I'm your drunk bestie at a bar or something is like really helpful. Like, what's going on, bud? Like,
I love
oh,
it.
Yes.
you don't wanna do that. Why? How does that make you feel? Do you want to try this? Like,
I love it.
and
I love it.
I'll legit talk to myself like that sometimes. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, why are you
Love
so angry? Do you really hate everything or do you need some sunshine? Okay.
Oh my God, I love that so much. I almost want to
Yes.
use it. Talk to yourself like your drunk bestie at a bar. Like that is so
So cool.
So
legit to
effective.
do, to talk to yourself. Seriously.
Well, because you're being unreasonable. I get to that point where I'm like, yeah, I'm being unreasonable and I just like want somebody to take care of me, basically. And so you're like parenting yourself.
Hmm.
Anyway.
Well,
And then
go
oh
ahead.
sorry.
No, go
One of the
ahead.
things I'm like discovering right now is like I'm trying to get better at playing. And I think it's
Yes.
I'm blaming my autism. I've never been good at like playing. But just like following the vibes or like letting yourself just like do something that like pops in your head like, "Oh, that seems fun," without needing to have like a reason or like logic or like a plan behind it. Be like, "I'm just gonna try it because it just popped into my head to try and it's not gonna hurt anybody." And kind of like see where that leads.
Play
That's
is so
Interesting.
important.
yes.
It is so
Same.
important. It's like it's funny that you say that because I'm going to share a moment that I had this morning with my kids. So we're sitting down and we're eating breakfast, and I've also too been thinking about this play situation. Like, how can I make more things playful and just bringing more, like making everything lighter and just kind of like more fun,
Yeah.
right? And not so serial all the time. And
Super cereal.
and so we're sitting there eating breakfast, and I had, when you get like songs stuck in your head sometimes, I had my
My
freaking
God.
alarm tone. Who does that?
No.
I know who does that. I'm like, okay, this is insane.
Lobotomy
I
immediately.
know. I was like, Jackson looks at me and he's like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "I have my alarm tone
Oh,
stuck in my head." And he's like, "What do you mean?" So I start singing it, and he's like, "Oh no, mom." And I was like, "Music on immediately." And so I'm like getting my phone out and I'm putting on a song, and we put on a Teddy Swim song that they all like, and so we were all like getting into it and stuff, and it was so funny because I was like, "Woo!" Instant shift, but it
yeah.
was like feeling the like that alarm tone in my head. I'm like,
Yes.
this is
Yeah.
like the lamest moment. And I'm like, how do I make this funner? But then just turning the music on, now my kid's like jamming and eating his breakfast. And then here comes my youngest coming out of her, cave, if you will, of like, okay, fine, I'll get up because you're having fun out here. And it's clearly not fun in there. So I want to be out here. And then now, like, the whole entire morning is just totally shifted from adding a little
That's
play
awesome.
into breakfast time.
Yeah.
It just makes it so much more fun. And for me, I think I would like to think that that is a core memory of me being weird, the weird, silly,
Yeah.
crazy mom of like,
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, it's kind of fun. Like at first they're looking
Yeah.
at me like I'm a
Yeah.
wackadoo. But then, creating those two just like also freaking recharges me and refuels me because I can pull from that.
Hmm.
So when you're
Yeah.
talking about like prevention, adding play is going to prevent, but then making those silly times. So then when I'm having my 2 minutes of quiet, I can pull from that moment of being like, remember that one time in the kitchen when I had my
Hmm.
alarm noise stuck in my head.
Yeah.
And then I like replay that. And then now all of a sudden, not only did I take 2 minutes for myself, but now I've totally shifted into this like happy, playful,
Yeah.
mode.
Yeah.
I love that too, because like kids are not going to listen to what you tell them. They're going to see what you do. And
100.
so it's like you're teaching them that tool in real time. And
Yes.
that's so
Yeah.
powerful. I love that.
Yeah. And another thing too, going back to the trying new things, like that's awesome that you're doing that because like I always tell people, like a lot of people are like, well, I don't know what I'm passionate about. I don't know what I like. I'm like, well, you'll never know though if you don't try things because
Right.
you don't know what you'll like. That's one of the
Yeah.
things my husband actually has helped me so much in my life. I was the most judgmental person when it came to food. And he has helped broaden my horizon in so many ways
Oh,
by challenging me to just try things. And now I'll try
yeah.
anything because
Yeah.
it just blows my mind. Something as simple as like trying a different food that it looks disgusting or I'm very judgy about it because it's not what I grew up with or whatever. And just even something as small as that, like you say, trying a new activity. You just know, I'm glad I tried pickleball, for instance. Like now I'm
Yeah.
obsessed with it, but I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know if I'd
Yeah.
like it. It's all about just trying and exploring and finding your passions and finding things that like you say, can refuel you in those times. So I just want to commend you for that. I love that you do that.
Yeah. I love what you're saying too, because it's like so often I think we have this expectation that our passion's gonna be like obvious and this big like
Oh yeah.
and like
Yeah.
you just have to find it. But it's I think so often like you have to try things you feel meh about in order to like
Yes.
find that passion. Because like if you've never considered racket sports, right? You don't even know pickleball exists. Like you might not know how to feel about it or you might not feel
Yes.
great about it, but then it's like you actually give it a shot and you're like, wait, hang on. I like this. Or maybe you try tennis and you're like,
Yeah.
don't love it. And you're like, wait, pickleball. And so,
Exactly.
yeah, it's like you often have to like pursue those things that you feel kind of ish about to
Yes.
even get to that point.
Yes, even
And
in
it's
like
like,
even if you're talking about business, for instance, like I can just see that analogy with it. Like
seriously.
some of the things that you have to do as an entrepreneur, it sucks, it's hard, it's
Yeah.
uncomfortable. You have to stretch yourself, but at the same time, if you don't kind of push yourself to do it, you won't ever see how much easier it gets and easier it gets. And then you get a flow and you start learning new skills and you start, developing different ways about yourself that you're like, oh my God, I didn't realize I was really good at this, or I
Mhm.
enjoy this, or maybe I don't, so I know I need to delegate it. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
Well, and
love
how do
it.
you know?
Exactly.
How do you know? I'm not going to take this step and then I'm going to create this whole entire story that goes all the way to the end when I haven't even done anything. You know what I mean? Like we do that. We make up all these stories and things of like, oh, it's not going to work. This, blah, 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 blah. And you just spent like 5 minutes making up this whole end. And you're like, hold up. Did you even stick a toe in? Did you even take a step? Like, how do you actually know that? You know?
You don't
Like,
have to yell, Sean, I'm right here.
sorry, I'll back up. No. I just think it's funny how we do that though. Like creating these whole stories to like not even stick a toe in or try something new when a lot of times when we do stick the toe in or take that step, then we're like, oh, that wasn't that bad.
Mhm.
And then you might actually like it. For example, I was at the soccer field for practice, and one of the moms was like, "Do any of you guys know?" Because we're talking about pickleball. Do any of you guys know how to play pickleball? And I'm like, "Nope." And she's like, "I really want to play. I have no idea what I'm doing. My husband won't do it." She's like, "My kid won't do it." She's like, "Any of you want to do it?" And I was like, "I'll do it." And she's like, "Really?" And I was like, "I don't know what I'm doing either, but there's
Yeah.
just time to learn. Like when you want to do it." And she's like, "Oh my God, okay, we're gonna text mess. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna play. We're gonna try to play pickleball." So
I
like
love it.
here's to people like sometimes taking that first step is hard. Sometimes just sticking a toe and even finding out what you like is hard. And it's okay to do any of you guys want to, like do any of you want to learn how to do or whatever and
Yeah.
just saying yes and trying it and then figuring out like, oh, maybe it's not for me or who knows? Maybe it is for me, but I won't know
Right.
until I actually try and pick it up and start playing. You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
So I just think it's funny how well we use our energy to come up with the ending without even taking a step to know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
like someone said the other day, it's like you use just as much energy to not do something as you would to just do it. So you might as well just do it.
because you're
And let,
using it anyway. Yeah.
yes,
Right, right.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this has been a really good conversation, and I know that somebody listening right now is probably like, okay, I want to do the recharge, but where do I start? Because I feel really stuck and like it's a struggle maybe to stick that toe in right, to do something different. So I want to ask a couple of questions, maybe to help them along this little path. So why do you think so many women struggle to slow down even when we know that we need to?
I think we've kind of touched a little bit on this, but I do really believe that we have this pressure we put on ourselves as women that we have to carry it all and we have to be strong and the good girl and the one who does it all. And so we automatically put this pressure that we're not allowed to. Like that means that
Or
we're like you
guilt?
say, we're getting behind. And oh my God, we have that guilt. Like, oh shoot,
Hmm.
I could be doing this, or
Hmm.
should be doing this when I don't want to. So yeah, that is a big part of why I think it's hard for us to slow down.
That's real too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this is such a downer, but it's like I think so many of us have seen that if we're not doing it, it doesn't get done.
Ooh, that's
That's a
good.
good one.
That is
And
deep.
so then it like
Because I even say
feeds.
that. I
Yep.
even say that.
And then you see the evidence of it too, though, and you're
Yeah.
like, well, so
Yeah.
yeah, for me, like that was a super hard thing. Because then it just like fed into my hyper independence, and I was like, well, I have to do everything, otherwise nobody else is gonna do it. And so yeah, that.
Okay, so
And
then
there's
let's so then that leads me into this. So then how do you remind yourself that slowing down doesn't mean you're falling behind?
I love that. I
I've become kind of a minimalist, and I'm like, I'm just not doing that. Like, there's so there's so many things that I'm just like, if I can't find somebody else to do it or delegate it or do it later, then it's like maybe it just doesn't need to be done.
I love that
And
though.
like having a minimum of like what my values are, like what my priorities are, and knowing like the things that I'm going to focus on, and then everything else is just like cleaning my house is not it's the first thing to go. And like that's okay because like I've taken the time to like realize what my priorities are and that's not it. So sometimes you just have to like maybe it won't get done if I don't do it. And maybe that's okay.
I love that.
Me too. Me too. And
That's
that's
so good.
huge. It's huge. I mean, it truly is. I mean, we have to have that compassion with ourselves, like that it's
Mm-hmm.
okay. Like we're doing the best we can and that's enough. And we are that is enough. Like and just constantly reminding yourself that I think is so important. It seems so simple, but it's huge. We have to always remind ourselves that we're doing enough and that is okay and everything's going to work out the way it's meant to. We'll get done what we get done. I was a huge thing for me with even just my day job. Like I feeling like I had to do all these things, but it's like no, it can wait till tomorrow. That'll be fine. I do what I can and then I'm good. I move on.
I love that.
So,
I love that. I like to remind myself that slowing down is my power move.
Mhm.
That slowing down and checking in with myself is getting rid of the things that aren't needed right now.
mhm.
Because I'll back it up a little bit, and look at it and be like, that isn't important. Like doing the dishes isn't the thing right now. Like sitting down with my kid and helping him with his homework is the thing right now. Or just I need to go for a walk right now because I need my sunshine because this plant hasn't seen any of that. You know what I mean? Like it's telling myself that just this is my power move to slow down, and
Mhm.
it's amazing how much better I feel, and then like how much easier it is for me to let go of the things that I'm adding, like adding the stress to my back that I don't need to. It can go,
Mhm.
you know
Yeah.
I love that you call it a power move. Like that's so empowering, obviously. But then also what you were saying, Mary, about like the compassion with yourself, because it ties back to what we were talking about earlier, where it's like we're using so much energy to put ourselves down and to be like, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And like you can use that same energy to instead try to like lift yourself up or like set a boundary and be like, I just need this because it's like we're using so much energy beating ourselves up anyway. So it's like, could we use that for something else?
Flip the
Exactly.
script. Flip
Yes.
the script, right? Like rewrite what that is saying. Don't be talking to yourself. Nobody wants
Yeah.
that.
You're
You're not
just
going
a
to say
drunk
that to
girl at
your
a
bestie.
bar.
Yeah,
Be
you're not
nicer.
going to say that to your bestie. So don't be saying it to yourself. Rewrite it, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that. This is such a great conversation. I feel like, somebody listening to this is definitely going to relate to this. And I hope that
For
they
sure.
hear us a little bit, with what some of the things. But before we wrap up, I want to leave something specific with our listeners that they can kind of carry on into the week. And it may be something that we've already covered or what have you, but I just want to kind of like recap it here for them just to bring
Mhm.
it, into the front of their minds. But what is one small thing that always brings you back to yourself?
For me, it's taking those pauses, taking those times throughout my day to just check in and see how I'm feeling, making sure, I actually have a reminder on my phone that goes off that says check in
I love
three
that.
times
Yeah.
a day because I get busy. I have to put a reminder to drink water sometimes, but I do it because it's like I understand how my ADD brain is and how I
Mhm.
get busy. But again, it's just all just always taking those moments to just check in with myself, see how I'm feeling, see how I'm doing, what do I need right now if I need something in this moment, and just honoring that and
Mhm.
just going easy on yourself, being flexible, allowing things to just be what it is and working towards that each and every day.
I
I
love
love
that.
that.
So good. Um, little water, little sunshine.
Yeah.
If I can like watch a sunrise or a sunset, preferably over some water, like all is right in the world.
Yes. Yes, girl.
I think it's like something,
You need to live at the beach.
it's like something, no, truly, in my brain where it's like, okay, yeah, I'm just a little speck on this earth and there's a whole universe and like I'm actually not in charge of everything and it's gonna be fine.
I love that.
I
Love
think I think
that.
it does something with my brain
Yeah.
chemistry. But yeah.
Yes, it does. Actually, being next to the ocean, it actually does. Like scientifically, I could go into that, but that's a whole nother soapbox.
It's science.
It is. It is science.
Yeah.
Legit. Legit. I love everything that you guys said, and I use those a lot. I'm going to add to that with something a little bit different. Moving from your space that you're in. So,
It's a good one.
if you're sitting, if you're like sitting at a desk or what have you, and you're just kind of like, in everybody else's like agendas and lists and things and blah blah blah, blah, just like get up and either move to a different room if you can, or walk down
Mhm.
the hallway, or go outside, if you can, like on your front porch, sit on your porch, or maybe go for a little bit longer of a walk. But I like to move the energy from the space that I'm in, can also help me shift out, in a way, shaking it off as you're moving
Mhm.
around. That will bring me back to like, okay, is like a little reset for myself.
Love that.
Yeah, that's
That's
science too. Especially with like ADHD, sometimes you just need to like something you need something to like help you snap out of it.
Hmm.
oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so good. Even going from like sitting to standing
Oh
sometimes can be like, oh, okay.
yes. Huge. Definitely.
Totally. I want you guys to also share. I'm going to have it in the show notes, but I want you guys to also share like where the listeners can connect with you and your work, just in case they want to, dive in a little bit more.
Yeah, for me, I mean, the best way to find me is through my website, marydibblecoaching.com, or find me on Instagram at Mary D Coaching. But I have my podcast and everything on my website. I offer a free consultation call for anybody who's wanting to explore where they are now, where they want to be, and how I can help them bridge that gap together. So always take advantage of that, or my free quiz that also helps you to discover what's holding you back from confidence and financial freedom.
Mm.
So yeah, come check me out.
Love it. I am at the Fierce Framework. That's my podcast name. That's where I'm at on social media. TikTok is my favorite place to hang out right now. So yeah, at the Fierce Framework.
Awesome. Awesome. Mine, you can find me at igniteddecisions.com is my website. My podcast is Release Your Inner Power. And I'm also on Instagram at Ignited Decisions, just to come over and get some more videos of what I've done in the past is usually where I hang out. I really, really appreciate you guys being here, and I'm excited to keep this panel going through the year of different topics and just chit chatting it up. These conversations are so real and they're so needed for everybody, just as like a reminder, to slow down and that it's not a weakness and that it is a power move, right? And I want to share that to the listeners, if this hit home for you, or if you know somebody that it would hit home or just help or brighten their week up or any of that to help them, share it with a friend who needs that little refuel and recharge too, because, we all need to help each other out sometimes and reach out and, gap that bridge, if you will. So thank you so much, ladies, for being here with me today.
Oh, thanks
Thank
for having
you.
us. I love you guys. I love talking with you guys, and I'm just very honored to be here with you.
Same. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
Awesome. So until next month, I'll see you guys soon. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed the conversation, learned something new, or got some gems to take away that will boost your week. I release a new episode each week, so make sure to click that follow button to not miss what is coming next. If you love the show or want to share a story, send me a quick message. I love hearing from listeners. If you know someone who needs this episode in their life, go ahead and share it with them. I'm sure they would love you for it. If you are looking to connect more, check out the show notes for all the social links, my website. I would love to hear how this episode helped you and what you loved about it. If there is a topic you want to hear about, send that too. All right, ladies, now is the time to release your inner power.